I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Yo, what's good, everybody? You are now listening to another episode of the Man Listen Show, but before we get started, let's hear a few words from our sponsors.
D's adding that flavor to your function. D's Daiquiri. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Flavor to your function. D's Daiquiri. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Good people, good vibe, one drink. Wanna kick back, wanna just vibe. Where to kick back? Let me first slide to the drink store. Let me just buy DD drink mixes, all of them fire. Fill me up a case, I'm finna drop bread. Marvelous mango, classic and red. Took them to the party, these folks won't leave me alone. They wanting me to share, they better get their own. DD's adding that flavor to your function. DD's Daiquiri. Good vibe, one at a time. Good vibe, one at a time.
Are costly cable bills giving you the blues? Well, Magic Streams is your answer. Watch all of your favorite teams live in HD. You will also get access to over 1,500 movies and be able to watch TV shows instantly. Magic Streams. Click the link in our bio to get more information. Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. You can also subscribe to the show on YouTube, iTunes, basically anywhere you listen to your podcast. Please follow the show, please share the show, and let everybody know about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Mark B. Let's bring the crew in. All right, y'all. So we wrapping up the month of May, and June is steadily approaching. So, you know, in June, we have Father's Day, but we also have my favorite holiday, Juneteenth. You know, Walmart made the news because they put out, I don't know if it was real or not. I guess they issued a statement about it, so I guess it was real. Walmart was going to put out some Juneteenth ice cream. And I mean, we'll talk about it, but I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It looked kind of fire to me, at least the description of it. But you know, it made social media, especially Black Twitter, Black Instagram, pissed off. So, what did y'all think when y'all saw this ice cream coming out from Walmart? And let's talk about the commercialization of Juneteenth. What did y'all think when you saw the ice cream?
Well, you know me, I boycott Walmart, so I wasn't going to try any. Not going to knock anybody else for trying it, but I definitely was never going to have any. But I mean, I think it's crazy.
Why you boycott Walmart?
Walmart is the devil. You really want me to get on that soapbox? I was in Walmart one time and they had a canned food drive for their employees. You know how much money I just spent up in here? Now you want me to feed your employees too? Why don't you pay them? So many of their employees are on public assistance, which means we're paying their employees when we buy there and through our taxes. And then Walmart has so many tax breaks that they're not even putting into the public, you know, fund that's feeding these people and whatnot. And then in other countries, there was a news report that was like, they don't allow women to move into managerial positions. Another one of their companies in a different country forced people to rent some on-site housing where there were like so many rapes and suicides that was happening there. So people were afraid to live there, especially women. And even though they didn't, they still had to pay. So
you one of those super target Negroes?
Man, not really, because I mean, back in my day, the only thing I loved more than Walmart was Super Walmart, but it was just too much stuff. I just couldn't. So I mean, I go to Target, but I'm an Amazon person myself. I prefer not to have to go to the store. I can just sit in court and order what I need.
Yeah, she a rich Negro. She do Whole Foods. I came up on Hypermart back in the day. You know what I'm saying? We from Top City, KC. We got the Hypermart. But
Man.
everybody know about that. But go ahead. You said you weren't gonna try the ice cream regardless because Walmart made it. Nothing the same.
Right.
You gonna make.
And I mean, why is Walmart allowed to be? I heard, I don't know if it's true, that they trademarked the name for it the day after it was made a national holiday. I'm like, man, can we get some black-owned stuff? Like, and how are you even
How do you
trademarking it?
trademark a holiday?
No, trademark the name for the ice cream and used to make other stuff. So basically, like, when you try to trademark anything, they just try to get out there first and get it, basically locked down for them so they could use it
They try
for
to trademark the name Juneteenth.
maybe Juneteenth ice cream or whatever they called that ice cream.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
probably they just did Juneteenth in front of everything. We got Juneteenth shaving cream, Juneteenth
Yeah.
Band-Aids. You know what I'm saying? They just
Right.
yeah.
And then just because they filed it doesn't mean it's going to be approved. But either way, we know Walmart,
Yeah.
ruthless.
Gotcha.
You know that other person, Hillary Clinton, used to work there too. It's another reason why I boycott them.
Hillary used to work at Walmart. I guess. I mean.
Corporate counsel.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mhm.
See, Lab, what was y'all's thoughts?
So I kind of feel the same way as Eureka does about Walmart. I try to avoid it for several reasons, not just because of how they treat their employees. And like she said, a lot of them are on public assistance. They don't pay their employees nothing compared to how much they bring in. But also Walmart sometimes is a little too grubby and there's just too many people. So I prefer Target as well. But I do go to Walmart. I mean, I wish I lived in a world to where I could avoid both of them, but I can't. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that red velvet cheesecake, it had me intrigued. I was like, I was gonna try a gallon or two at first, not necessarily because it had June.
She said or two.
A gallon or two.
Or
That's a
two.
lot.
or two.
Yeah, but not because of the Juneteenth, but more or less, because of the flavor. But I mean, if it came down to Walmart, I guess, exploiting us in the holiday, then nah, I'm not for it.
I mean, I for me, and Lab, you can jump in, bro. Like, I mean, I don't know what we thought was going to happen once it became a federal holiday. You knew they was going to commercialize it, and I think it's contingent upon us to make sure that we are still putting our dollars towards causes and organizations that support Black people. Y'all made good points. I was always under the belief that I won't go to Walmart. Number one, because my pockets ain't long like y'all's are. And then number two, I know that people always were against Walmart because they said they would come into towns and they would wipe out the small businesses. But I always looked at it as, okay, Walmart comes into town, but how many of those businesses were offering to Black people in that area inferior products? Not to say that Walmart's offering like top-notch produce and things of that nature, but you compare Walmart to some of them hood grocery stores that we've all seen.
Hair care products too, yeah.
Oh, it's light years beyond. So, I mean, y'all got deep with it. It's definitely give something to consider in terms of, where we put our dollars. I do go to Target sometimes. Whenever I go to Target, I end up spending like way more money than I wanted to spend when I went in there. But yeah, I was going to get the ice cream. I definitely was going to try it just because he said it sounded good. I really just didn't look too deep into them trying to capitalize on Juneteenth, but apparently it pissed a whole lot of people off, and they decided to backtrack and say, "No, we're not going to do it."
Yeah, I kind of echo what you were saying about, I don't know what we were expecting, because every national holiday, federal holiday, there's some kind of commercialization to it. I mean, we've seen the MLK flyers for parties, you know what I'm saying, at the strip club or whatever, Columbus.
That's so egregious, dog.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, Columbus Day is or Veterans Day is all kind of about shopping, fall clothes, get your into the summer clothes on Columbus Day, stuff like that. So I'm sorry, Indigenous Peoples Day. But I was just amazed that they said this is what encapsulates Juneteenth: red velvet and cheesecake. And I start thinking, man, hey, Black people love some red velvet, man. For real. I mean, red velvet waffles, red velvet cupcakes, whatever. They gonna have red velvet. Hey, the flavors I too was gonna try some, you know.
yeah.
You know, because you know, you go to Cheesecake Factory, the red velvet cheesecake is fire, you know, and that just seems like it's just a little deviation from that slightly.
And do people still go to Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah, they
People
do.
do. Yeah.
Now I've never had any red velvet anything, but I go to
No,
the
I always get the
Cheesecake Factory.
strawberry.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I remember like back in the day, Cheesecake Factory on the Plaza used to be off the chain, and then the one in St. Louis was cool as well. But they kind of fell off with the food though. They fell off with the food, and they got a menu. They got the menu with like 1,000 items or whatever. I ain't been to Cheesecake Factory, or I had the desire to go to Cheesecake Factory.
Man,
their menu is deep.
We still,
this young B Lab said it. I may have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, we still go on like a Sunday evening or something, or just go pick up some cheesecake or something like that. Not necessarily eat, but
there's the other one. What is that? 119th, the 135th. I've been gone for so long.
Yeah, 119th. That's the one. Yeah.
See, I didn't like that one either, though. I didn't like that whole idea because I felt like it was more Johnson County people trying to say like, nah, we don't want to be over in Missouri, so we're going to put one out.
I lived in Johnson County, so I didn't want to be over there sometimes.
That's what it was, yeah.
But you know that most people can't stand, if you're from the KC area, most people cannot stand Johnson County people.
Yeah, I can get that.
Certain people from Johnson County. I'll put it like that.
But see, check this out. Back to the Walmart thing. It wasn't just the ice cream, no. But I know you saw the video. They had like the Juneteenth candles, and it was like the phrase on it was like, "It's the freedom for me," you know. And I mean,
so that was real. I saw that. I thought it was a joke. That was real.
No, I think that was real.
See that
takes
it to a whole nother level.
That's taking it a bit far, right?
Yeah, that's taking it a bit.
Here's my thing, though, and I started to broach this topic during Black History Month. And I saw where Target had a bunch of stuff for Black History Month, like shirts or whatever. They look fly. Whatever they was like.
Yeah, I was gonna say that earlier though when y'all was talking about Target.
I only reason why I didn't say anything is because I didn't know where those items were sourced from. Now, if we could legitimize, say, okay, there was a Black designer.
They were.
This came from
Target. There were.
Yeah,
this came from a Black brand, somebody like that.
Got you. Yeah.
Then I'm good with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Then I'm good with it because those people, we're helping those people scale their business to take it to the next level. This just seemed like Walmart just saying, "Hey, listen, throw this on here and put it out there and see what folks if they gonna bite." And they didn't realize, Black people ain't really happy with nothing.
Right. They see somebody over Black Twitter to pick up some phrases.
Man.
Go see what they're saying these days.
Yeah. But with Target though, it's not just the Black History Month though. It's all year, long. They have like, Black products made by Black people, whether it's makeup, hair, clothes, whatever it is. Like they have like really put in the effort in the last few years to, showcase Black, designers. And
when do you think that started? This a guess. I'm not trying to hold you down or anything, but what?
Like Target?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what started it.
Because I'm
like
wondering
2 or 3 years ago.
So I'm wondering, where Target's home base is?
Yeah, Minneapolis. Yeah.
Minneapolis.
Oh, okay.
I'm wondering if they are, like, okay, let's try to counteract some of the George Floyd,
Let's try not to get burned down.
Exactly.
I honestly think they might have started like a little before that, but I think it was amplified by that though, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Well, I think that we put a lot of effort in, and rightfully so, in making sure that we protect our culture. I mean, we probably don't do it enough because I think we've let rap is getting away from us, right? Social media, I hate it when like we say something on social media and they be like, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? You know what I mean? Like these these white folks are on social media and they have like their little inside jokes or whatever, and they never give it up. They'll be like, oh no, it's just a prank, or whatever. Man, you see a Black person, we try to have like an inside joke, and then it comes somebody, well, what does that mean? And it was like for the white folks or whatever. It's like, dude, let us have our thing. Let us protect our culture. Now, if the Irish want to commercialize St. Patrick's Day, have at it. If the Mexicans want to commercialize Cinco de Mayo, whatever, have at it. But I do think that we need to, Juneteenth is a little bit more sacred to Black people, at least for us, because at least on this show, we've always celebrated Juneteenth. I know there's people who like, they just now they're like, well, we didn't celebrate Juneteenth where I'm at. The Juneteenth was always a special day, at least in Topeka. I don't know about in St. Louis, Kansas City. I know St. Louis
had Juneteenth in KC too. Yeah,
I know, but St. Louis has like the Annie Malone Day, you know, the May Day parade, and that's sort of like their Juneteenth, right? Celebrating, you know, Black business, Black culture in St. Louis. So, but I just think, you know, it's a good thing, but I would like to see us also divert some of that energy to saying, okay, what Black businesses can we support, instead of, you know, harping on Walmart as well. And maybe that's happening. I just didn't see it.
I mean, I didn't see it either, but I also think that this happened so fast. Like, I swear last night we were like, ooh, ice cream. And today I was like, that's over.
Right.
You will not be getting that.
I mean, and like, I ain't gonna lie, dog. I wish I still low key like lived in Missouri or like in Arkansas, wherever the Walmart headquarters is, because you know they already got that stuff made, right?
Hey, exactly.
Wherever they dump it, I'm like, oh, don't dump that.
Somebody got it. Somebody got it.
Now they just gonna repackage it, call it something else, and put it on the shelves. You know, they tried it with Juneteenth, because I'm, you know, they already had that flavor developed for something. You know, it just had never, their time never came. They couldn't figure out what to call it, what to release it, how to market it, and then they said, boom, there we go, Juneteenth. You know, and you know, it is what it is, but it's going to hit the shelves at some point. It might be under a different name, you know, so, but it'll be there.
We'll see it. We'll see it in Kwanzaa.
Right, exactly.
I don't know. Kwanzaa might be too militant for
but
be commercialized. I don't know.
You know, I think
I don't celebrate Kwanzaa because the founder is a snitch, you know, but you know, it may be so. I don't know.
But kind of like back, you were saying about St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo, when Black people hold Juneteenth with a little more, I guess you would say, reverence, or a little more somberness, I guess you would say. Because, you know, the other thing's a reason for celebrating. I mean, I guess Juneteenth is a reason to celebrate too. But man, when you think about how messed up it was, you know, what Juneteenth actually stood for, that's really nothing to celebrate. You know, you should just be looking and, I mean, be like, man, that's crazy every year, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and I want people to go look at our past episodes. We did an episode with a historian, you know, Bill Miller Boyd, and he broke down Juneteenth and broke down the history of it, where it was celebrated, you know, how some Black people celebrated the 4th of July. You know, we always say, man, we don't care about 4th of July. He broke down the history of Juneteenth. It was a real deep episode that we did. I interviewed him on the Man Listen Show, so folks need to check that out. We're probably going to put that back out there as we approach Juneteenth, because it really broke down the history. Because most of us only know that, okay, listen, that was the last day that the final slaves were freed, right? Quote unquote free, because we know slavery was still going on even after that, right? But the slaves in Galveston, Texas, they finally got word that, hey, listen, slavery is no more. So, but we knew that. But I mean, to me, Lab, though, it is something that is to be celebrated, because it's freedom. It's freedom, and yeah. But I just want it to be celebrated by us, and however we do that, that's what's most important. You know, not just letting other people capitalize on it, because hell, we didn't capitalize on it, and maybe that's our fault.
Right.
Maybe that's our fault. But you know, when Walmart try to do their thing, it just don't seem right to me. It just don't seem right. I'm not really for commercialized holidays anyway, though. Like, I don't like Valentine's Day. I don't like Christmas. Like, to me, I'm a birthday person. Like, if you got your birthday, I'm gonna go all out for your birthday, right? Because I feel like that's your day. But in terms of like holidays, Juneteenth, that's really probably Juneteenth and New Year's. Juneteenth and New Year's is probably really the only ones Thanksgiving, because pumpkin pie. Juneteenth, New Year's,
Thanksgiving.
You can't celebrate Juneteenth and then say
And
pumpkin
eat
pie
pumpkin
at the
pie,
same time,
right,
man. Come
right.
on,
The two
man.
things don't go in the same sentence.
No,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
don't. They
Come on. Yeah.
See,
He
I
couldn't
know,
wait to mention that pumpkin pie either. He got
Right.
excited.
Thanksgiving my favorite holiday. I ain't gonna front. Thanksgiving my favorite holiday.
It's mine too. I ain't gonna
The
lie. It's mine
food,
too.
the fellowship. I just
Yep.
think back to the memories, man. We, just playing
Family.
cards all night, watching football, just everything, they break down. Like you got your brothers or your cousins who show up high, trying to eat everything. I just love Thanksgiving. I just love Thanksgiving. What about you, Enrique? What's your favorite holiday?
My birthday.
Okay. All right. That's legit.
My birthday month.
That's legit. That's legit. See?
I don't celebrate anything. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm not disciplined. I'll party when I want. I'll celebrate whatever day I want. I don't wait for a certain day of the year.
She's just defiant. That's what that is. She's just defiant.
Might be.
Yeah, you just
That's that Republican in her.
And I don't celebrate holidays at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that things are getting somewhat back to normal. I mean, we kicked it this last weekend. Everybody except for C, it was a Democrat or independent party. We didn't have a Republican with us.
There you go.
We definitely missed it though. So me, Lav, and Erika, we kicked it last weekend. I didn't see a mask in sight. Cass was partying. And, I mean, I know I'm quadruple vaxxed up. I think everybody else is just betting on that natural immunity. But y'all seen they got monkeypox coming to the United States now.
Man, yeah.
Monkeypox. Like apparently it's really, really bad in Africa. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why. Probably because of the health disparities, maybe on the continent. But they had their first confirmed case in North America, and I talked to a medical professional that I trust, and I said, "Man, how serious is this?" And they were like, "More serious than they want people that they're really letting on." I saw something, and I don't twist my words on this. Don't take this for anything, but I read an account that is primarily being spread through male-on-male sex. I don't know the science behind that, why that would be something that makes it more prevalent to pass, maybe because of the blood exchange or whatever. But I'm just like, man, monkeypox, number one, it sounds awful, right?
Very.
They show like people's hands, they got all these different sores and stuff on their hands. And I'm just like, man, we just getting past COVID. We don't need nothing else. Give us another little run without any virus that's going to threaten to kill us all. But hey, y'all seen this? Y'all seen about the monkeypox?
I have. I've seen it.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe sometimes that's when, part of my conspiracy theorist mind starts jumping out. I feel like there's just too much. It just flies in and out and comes out of nowhere. And then after a while, it'll just vanish, like the swine flu, the bird flu, West Nile virus, the Zika, what else? There was it's just and then every time something comes, it never starts in America or most other European countries. For some reason, they always start in Africa or, somewhere in the Middle East or, in the Native American community. They swear
the Wuhan market, the Wuhan market, the
Wuhan lab.
It's just like everything
the lab
starts somewhere where there's no Europeans, just all of a sudden.
You don't think it was bats? You don't think it was bats?
No, I'm just,
I don't know. They could have been eating bats. They probably were, or it could have been eating bats and testing them in a lab. I really don't know what they do. I just know that every other year there's these fly by night diseases that pop up in all these other continents. And I mean, like I said, I just don't understand why doesn't anything ever pop up in Europe or the US?
I think part of it too is honestly in the subtropical climate, there's it's ripe, so much more stuff can grow and fester and than it can in the Caucasus Mountains.
According to Native Americans, though, when they came here, invaded, when you had Native American Africans, they brought the stuff with them. So
no, yeah, there are some that they brought, but I'm just saying a lot of my, I'm thinking that's what it,
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's the narrative that they choose to spin.
Yeah. No, I read that same article you read, and then it started with that warning for bisexual or gay men, but then it went on to talking about you can get it from general contact and even bed sheets. So I was like, what was the point of, I don't sleep in the same bed as my husband, so I'm at less risk than anybody else. So the article really didn't match the attention grabbing headline to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I did see a conspiracy theorist that I follow post some stuff today that had me kind of like, oh, I might
Wait a
share
minute.
this.
You follow a conspiracy theorist?
Yes. So yeah, like one or two.
Okay.
But he posted a bunch of articles about how a truck full of monkeys headed towards a laboratory in Missouri crashed on the highway in Pennsylvania, and then like some girl like tried to rescue it. 4 got away. Some girl tried to rescue it or whatever, and she ended up with conjunctivitis or whatever. So, but I mean, it was like the New York Times reported on it. It was news stories reporting on it. And that was just in a couple months ago.
This is
It was
real.
in 2022. Yeah.
This is real.
They didn't have them in no seatbelts or nothing. How'd all the monkeys?
They
get
were
out?
in crates in the seatbelts. They're not trained
I
monkeys.
don't know, Ricky. That sounds like some Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
I
it's
said
a
it was
monkey
a
see, monkey
That
conspiracy
sounds
theory.
far-fetched.
It's Planet of the Apes.
That sounds.
It was even
that
on
sounds far-fetched.
what's the show, the actual news show that I be watching?
What's that?
The Colbert Report.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
So, but they talk, they parody real news, but I was like,
Right.
man, if it's getting to the parody point, they were talking like the news reporter talking about, oh, we're monkeying around, oh, the monkeys headed to the lab crash, but yeah, like
But
3
you know what,
different.
though? I'm old enough to remember in junior high school, when HIV and AIDS was like really like catching on, and they didn't really know, and they tried to say 2 things. They tried to say it came from monkeys in Africa, right? I don't know if y'all remember that. They
Yeah,
tried to say it came from monkeys in Africa.
they did.
And then like somebody like has sex with a monkey or something like that, right? And then they try to pin it on this one guy. Y'all remember that? There was this.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that one guy.
His name was Patient Zero, and his name was like Gayton Duges or something like that.
Yeah, they tried to say he was the first one to have it.
Yes, he was like the first guy to have it, and they kind of talked about how he was promiscuous and how it just kind of just spread like that. Yeah, y'all remember that?
Mhm.
I do not. I mean, I Patient Zero.
Patient Zero sounds familiar.
Yeah, but I don't remember dude's name. His name.
Yeah, no, I remember his
Yeah.
name. His name was Gayton Duges, and like you think about it now when they talk about HIV and AIDS, you don't hear none of that stuff.
No.
You don't hear anything.
Well,
Right?
I think this COVID crisis was a real life laboratory in and of itself, because a lot of people, you think one thing about, the CDC says this, but science is ever changing. So what they think now about COVID-19 is totally different than what they thought about it in March of 2020. And it's going to be totally different in March of 2025 when they find out more about it. So, sometimes they like you said, it just pops up out of Africa, but after it's gone, they still doing research. They never come back and correct themselves and say, well, actually it started here, or we actually got to the origin of it.
Mhm.
I think most people don't really care. They just want to, what's the remedy and how do we keep from getting sick?
Right.
Because you remember when COVID first came, they were like, kids seem to be immune to it, right?
Hey man, I never forget we did the show. The first it was like black people is immune.
Yeah. Oh, that was on social media. They was like, black people don't get it. We've been through segregation and mass incarceration. Yeah, that was crazy.
So ignorant.
But I'm gonna tell you though, when we talk about like the people eating bats and stuff like that, there's some countries, I like to travel. There's some countries I have no desire to go to. And I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of them Asian countries, I just don't have any desire to go to them at all. Just because my stomach ain't the strongest. Like I eat most of the same stuff all the time because like I ain't got a strong stomach. And I remember I was working with a job, working a job, and they were based out of China, and they were like, well, you're gonna have to go visit China for a week or whatever. And my stomach was just in knots because I was just like, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. You know, I'm gonna have to eat rice the whole time because I'm not eating the stuff that they eat. Because they would tell me the stories and they could have been exaggerating it, but like they were like, yeah, we were there for dinner and they served scorpion and this, that, and the other, and you have to eat because it's insulting. And I'm like, they just gonna be insulted because I'm not eating no scorpion. I'm not doing that. And I don't know. I don't know if y'all got countries y'all don't have any interest in going to, but like, China, fly me over the Great Wall so I can snap a picture for Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You said IG.
I feel you. I nah, China's I don't necessarily I wouldn't mind. I honestly would want to go to Japan, I would go to Japan. I would go to probably Thailand.
So Japan, I would hit just because we got a frat brother there. I would hit Japan. I would hit Korea. Thailand, possibly, but maybe the Philippines, but I just don't have not any strong. They're gonna be on the bottom of the list.
Yeah, it's not
they might be right above Antarctica. You know what I mean? The places I want to visit.
Antarctica. I want to go everywhere.
Now I'll be honest with you, probably the top of my list, and maybe I don't know. Like I'm like I have no desire. I want to go to Africa, but I don't want to go to South Africa. Like I would never see myself going to South Africa.
They say South Africa is one of the most beautiful countries, bro.
I heard Johannesburg is amazing.
I understand that.
Most beautiful countries, like in Africa, for real. Yeah. Is it because of the apartheid?
I think so. Yeah, that's probably why.
Mm-hmm. I like the Ivory Coast. It looks beautiful. I can't wait to go there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more places I just want to see in the States. People sleep on the US. People
sleep
on really that's in
the sleep on. Me, I'll jump in my car and go anywhere.
So like to me, this is there's a few places I haven't been, like Niagara Falls and stuff like that. But definitely, But China, I'm good on that because I don't need no monkeypox. We don't need.
Yeah, I can't really think of anywhere, and so I guess India, that's part of Asia. That's probably as close as I would want to go over that way.
Why India? You want to see the Taj Mahal?
No, I mean, I like Indian food. I mean, I just have no desire to go to any, China. I definitely wouldn't go to, North Korea, South Korea. I don't like Thai food, so I wouldn't go to Thailand. I do eat Japanese food, but I mean, not to the point where I want to go over there in that crowded country to eat it.
Is Japan crowded? Is Japan crowded?
Yeah. Extremely crowded.
The cities are the cities
mashed together, sitting on the floor and stuff, and
they're like New York. They're vertical.
It's kind of like a New York. Yeah, there's nowhere to grow, so they're growing up. So there's just buildings stacked on top of each other. I mean, I just don't have a desire to be on a flight that long to go any of those countries.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, but hopefully everybody stays safe. I mean, it's a crazy world right now. I mean, Walmart trying to take over Juneteenth and monkeypox on its way, and we're not safe in our grocery stores and in our schools. I mean, we definitely want to send our condolences to the people in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas. We kept the show kind of light just because we felt like there's a lot of hard stuff going on in the news right now, and it's traumatic, right? It's trauma, and we are repeatedly being exposed to it. And that trauma, we talked about it in the show that came out this week with Christina Slaughter from More Grace Counseling. That trauma, it affects us. It affects our DNA, and then it passes down to our seeds. And we really got to try to find a way to collectively heal. So we are a show that focuses primarily on the Black community and empowering the Black community. So I definitely want to, really highlight what happened in Buffalo and how that white supremacist came and, did that horrible act to those beautiful Black souls. And I'm hoping that something is put into place. We need an anti-Black hate crime bill, just like we had the anti-Asian hate crime bill. Then we also need gun reform. I mean, I'm pro-gun, but I think that some sort of reform needs to happen
Common sense gun laws, yeah, has to be.
It has to happen, because when you have children and teachers being murdered, it just doesn't make any sense. It don't make any sense. So, our condolences to the families. And that's it. Make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. Share the show. Let everybody know about the Blackest Radio Show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.